acquire project team. First, executing process group process. This process gives us people. We start with the requirement, but we end by getting people assigned to our project, because in this process we acquire human resource. So let's look at the inputs and the process of acquiring human resource for our project. Before acquiring, we need to know the requirement, the need, and we get the need from human resource from our human resource management plan. This tells us how, when, what type of skill we need in our project. So need comes from here. What do we need? After knowing the requirement, we need to understand what is available inside the organization and what is the surrounding conditions. What kind of skills, systems are available in the organization and outside. Enterprise environmental factor. Organization process assets talks about procedures of hiring people, templates for publishing the vacancies, all come from organization process assets. Now, in tool and technique, primarily we need to find a way to get people, because at the end of this process we should have people ready to join our project. So first tool and technique which comes into picture is pre-assignment. Now pre-assignment is a term. You may get people assigned to your project in your project charter. While the sponsor is issuing a project charter, he might have already identified some set of people who would be associated with this project based on area. For example, if you are dealing in a very specialized area, you need some set of technical skills. So the people who are already available in the organization may come as a pre-assigned to your project. The second tool and technique which you can use is negotiation. You negotiate with your enterprise environmental factor. Means you negotiate with your functional bosses. Now negotiation is all about talking to a functional manager, explaining him the need and getting people assigned to your project. You did negotiation, you had few people who were already assigned to your project, but still you may need a significant amount of people for your project which can only be acquired. Means get people from external environment. So for that you need to do acquisition. Now acquisition is a process which starts from identifying, say, job details, vacancies, description. Then you will publish these details in a various channels, maybe over internet or over newspaper. You will publish the requirement, then people will apply for it, and then you need to follow a selection. For a selection, you can use multi-criteria decision. Multi-criteria decision analysis, another tool and technique which helps you Now this helps you in analyzing the people, the job applicant, on the basis of various factors. For example, you may have criteria like skill, experience, how mobile the person is, which geography he resides in, what kind of his salary expectation maybe, etc., etc. So these all criteria may play a role in selecting the people, and this is used in conjunction with acquisition. And after it, by an acquisition route, you will have people selected. In some cases, if you find that it is not feasible to get people on site, means you need that particular skill, but you cannot get them co-located in your project environment, you may need to go for virtual team. Now, virtual team is a tool and technique where we acquire people which are not in the same geography. They may be working from different time zone. They may be working from their home. Now, it is not always easy to manage virtual teams. You need to use good amount of technology to substantiate the gap you have, the physical proximity gap you have with your resources. But in some cases, if you need a very specialized skills and you don't need that skill for throughout your project duration, it may be not feasible for that person to travel to your project location. So you may end up acquiring some virtual team members, and these virtual team members will not sit with you, they will be sitting and doing things using the technology. They would be sending their work using technology. Now, after applying these all tools and technique, which each of these technique may give you some human resources. So at the end, you should get, by applying these tools and technique, you should get people who are assigned to your project, maybe coming from pre-assignment or negotiation or acquisitions, or some of them are virtual. But finally, you get project staff assignment. That is an output of acquired project team, project staff assignment. Now, you have to still develop them, but they are like standing and waiting for your instruction. So you got the people who are available and ready to work. On the basis of this staff assignment, you may update your resource calendar. Because resource calendar shows that which person is allocated to your project and how the work is distributed to him throughout the project duration. So now you need to update, since you have a people, you fit them in resource calendar, and if you have already identified activities against those particular skills, that can get reflected in resource calendar. It may also result in updation in project management plan, because things usually never happens as planned. You may have planned to acquire a technical architect having 20 years of experience in designing the type of product you are looking for, but you could not get it, and you cannot wait for another 1 month to get the right candidate. So you end up modifying your requirement and you hire that guy. So that change has to be reflected in project management plan, because it is coming from acquired project team process. In summary, acquired project team gives us people who would be working on our project.